Second segment of the show for today. The topic is youth violence and intentional injuries, and we're talking to Alana McLaughlin, who has given us some information in reference to defining exactly what youth violence and intentional injuries consist of, and to use a couple of case studies dealing with this during this particular segment of the show. Let's talk about the two cases that you mentioned earlier as examples of perhaps what you mean when you talk about youth violence and intentional injuries. What do you mean when you use these examples?
Well, if you just tuned in, the two cases I was that Dr. Henry was referring to were the Tupac Shakur case, Tupac Shakur, and Trayvon Martin case. Now, in Tupac's case, he was in Las Vegas and he was going back from a nightclub, and when a old-fashioned Cadillac pulled to his left, so they rolled down the window, and while Tupac was standing up in the sunroof place, he was just standing up, in the sunroof. The gunman shot Tupac in his chest, his abdomen, and there was a whole round in his right lung, and he was also shot in his right hand and his left thigh. Now, the gunman I'm aware of was also accidentally shot, and so what happened to Tupac was he was rushed to the hospital, but on September the 13th, 1996, he was pronounced dead at 4 o'clock p.m. approximately, and the doctors tried to revive him, but they couldn't repair his hemorrhage, and his Tupac's mother, Miss Shakur, ordered the doctors to stop trying to revive him. She knew her son was gone. And another case would be Trayvon Martin. Now, Mr. Trayvon Martin was a teenager. He was 17, and he was watching the football game for the March Madness. So after he decided he was going to go down to the store, Court Market, and go get himself some snacks because he was chilling at home alone, and that's what probably any teen would go do. So after that, he went down to the store, and he was wearing a hoodie, and after that, he just grabbed a Mountain Dew and some Skittles. So he paid for that, and as he exited the the store, George Zimmerman, the local neighborhood watch leader, was out watching people. So he saw Martin and thought, whoa, he's suspicious. So after that, he called 911, and the 911 dispatcher specifically said, do not target him, do not get out the car, don't follow him. But of course, Mr. Zimmerman, in his disobedience, followed Mr. Martin, targeted him, and shot him. Now, most people say that Trayvon was attacking Zimmerman, and Zimmerman did it in self-defense, and that's what Zimmerman's family also says. But some people think it was racism. Some people just think it was just a random shooting. On the other hand, I don't know what to think, because all I know is that I really pray for Trayvon's family, Trayvon Martin's family, and then I know that Obama is actually on Trayvon's side also, because Mr. President Obama also said that if I had a son, he would look like Trayvon. So I'm guessing that takes it as, oh, I'm sorry for your family, Trayvon, rest in peace. God bless.
And so this is one of the more renowned cases of youth violence and intentional injuries that you're familiar with. And I also understand that you were able to talk to other folks in reference to this particular case and some of the other items in terms of youth violence and intentional injuries. What about people in your age and at your school? Do they ever think in terms of the kind of intentional injuries that they often inflict upon one another, and what are some of those injuries that they might inflict?
Well, at my school, intentional injuries isn't really a non-common thing. It's pretty. Considering we have 650 students, it's kind of hard to keep them all tamed. So most of the injuries that people inflict on each other would be punches, kicks in areas that you don't want to be kicked in. You could be slapped, you could be pushed, you could have a chair thrown at you. You could also be very seriously hurt. Like a boy, this is unfortunate. He was going to breakfast, and he got body slammed right into the concrete floor, right into a paved floor because I think he took a boy's seat and he picked him up and body slammed him right on the floor. And the scary thing is that the janitor had to clean up blood, and the boy was rushed to the hospital. We haven't heard from the boy ever since.
But those is, in other words, you're simply saying that even people your age involved with bullying and involved with youth violence, and
Very
to
much
such an
so.
extent that some of the things that you say about that today, you think that might have some impact upon them to help them stop youth violence, or think in terms of how they ought to treat. How should they treat one another in places like that?
They should treat each other like they want to be treated, because if you want to be beat up and if you want to be teased, then that actually gives you no right to do it to somebody else. If you don't want that to happen to you, why would you do it to somebody else? Because you know that their reflexes will say, oh, I'm gonna go target her back, and I'll go do that right back. So just treat them like you want to be treated. Treat them nicely. Treat them how you would want to be treated, is all I can simply say.
And so that's probably your motto in terms of how you wish young people your age to deal with people. We've had you on many other occasions, and you've talked about some aspects of digital cyberspace and that kind of thing.
Cyberbullying.
Cyberbullying. Now, what does that mean, and how do you relate that to what you talk about when you mention youth violence?
Another version of cyberbullying would also be using, this is an iPod Touch, an 8 GB iPod Touch. And another form of bullying would be to get on Twitter and probably just go on somebody's page and go type, oh, I hate this girl so much, she's so ugly. And I've seen that happen like on many places like Facebook and of course Twitter and maybe YouTube and etc. But all I can say is that don't take your anger out on somebody else. Just like try to be calm with it. Try to understand that maybe it was an accident. Accidents happen, but the youth nowadays try to go around that and try to say, oh, she did it on purpose, when they probably know that it was probably an accident or something.
Very good. And of course, Lana, we're getting ready for our second commercial break, and then we'll come back and we'll have about 10 minutes, and then we'll give you an opportunity to make some other statements in reference to youth violence and intentional injuries. But I think that in a real sense, it has been very, very instructive in terms of the kind of information that you're giving us. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.